The Golden State Warriors have actually turned it around, and the reason for it might surprise a lot of people. In the last 13 games, the Golden State Warriors have won 9 of those outings. On both sides of the floor, they look significantly better than what they used to. Draymond has been reinserted back into the lineup, and there has been some other roles and responsibilities that have been changed with some of the other players. And crazy enough, some of the veterans have taken a step back to allow some of the younger players to flourish. In particular, both Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson have received lesser roles, with Klay Thompson now coming off of the bench. And the secret weapon for the Golden State Warriors throughout this good stretch has been Jonathan Kaminga, which is pretty crazy to think about because earlier this season, there was a lot of conversation and back and forth about Kaminga, B-Pods, and Moses Moody about their roles and responsibility and what they viewed they were supposed to do on this team, especially in contrast to the minutes that Steve Kerr was giving them. In the first 20 games of the season, Kaminga was only playing 20 minutes a game, only started one of those outings, and also only averaging 11 points, an assist, 3 rebounds, and it was a long way to go with what he was going to be able to provide defensively. This really stunted the growth and progression of Kaminga, so much so that many people, including myself, believe that at the deadline, the Warriors would move in a different direction since they were trying to seek some answers to make them a much better unit. However, they stood pat, put more faith in the young players, and Kaminga, he has been balling out of his mind because within the last 13 games that the Warriors have been able to turn around, Kaminga is basically a starter receiving starter minutes, and you can see the production really pan out, averaging 21 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, and only fouling twice a game, which was a massive, and I knew being a really big problem with Kaminga and the minutes he was receiving early on in his career, but now he's toned down on that aspect. He's become much more precise and calculated with the moves that he's making on the floor, and is paying out so much so that the Warriors could really rally back in the second half of the year. And this is being noted in several articles across the NBA community, with Kaminga being much more strategic and selfish with some of his play, being able to pass up open three-pointers to seek a better shooter, and even defensively paying way more attention to what he was doing before. And I do believe a lot of that has to do with the tutelage of Draymond Green. With Draymond back from his sabbatical, he's definitely had a positive influence on this team when it comes to both old and younger players. And the flourish and improvement that we've seen Kaminga while playing alongside Draymond as well as Andrew Wiggins has been a massive and much needed improvement for this team. So far this season, in 21 games in which the Warriors are running out lineups that consist of Draymond, Wiggins, and Kaminga, they have an offensive rating of 118, a defensive rating of 102.9, which gives them a net rating of 15.5. And the numbers become even more impressive in the most recent stretch, roughly in the last month and a half of basketball, when again the Warriors are running a lineup that consists of Draymond, Kaminga, and Wiggins on an offensive rating of 122 with a defensive rating of 105, giving them a net rating that is plus 17. And it's not just what Kaminga is doing alongside Draymond or Curry. Even from an individual standpoint, the progression offensively is something that we definitely cannot overlook. Sure, Kaminga is going to maximize and take advantage of certain opportunities that are given to him due to the gravity of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond, and the synergy that those three have had throughout their entire career. But there is a level of shot creation that should definitely not be overlooked, in particular getting to the basket, that has really impacted this team positively, and it's something that they desperately needed. Over the last 15 games, Kaminga is 4th in the NBA at field goals made at the rim, leading the entire NBA at field goal percentage at the basket, shooting a very impressive 78% at the rim. The improvement with the self-creation and finishing ability at the rim is something that not only should not be overlooked, but also has added a layer to this offense that is desperately needed. The Warriors, for the better part of this season, have been mundane, routine, and very predictable, over relying on jump shot shooting. Now you have someone like Kaminga who stepped up to the plate, who's picking up a much larger role offensively, and he's utilizing the amount of floor spacing that his teammates are giving him to attack the basket and pick and choose his poison and making much more sounder decisions. And all of this is very, very impressive because, again, just at the trading deadline, there were a lot of conversations that people were having about Kaminga and where exactly he was going to go if the Warriors decided to move in that direction. So we go from a player who was a trade piece literally 2 months ago to now basically untouchable.
Kaminga has no clue how good he is.
Yeah.
And I think that's so incredible because he believes he's good. It's like a weird thing. He doesn't have a clue of how good he is, but he's a confident kid. So he believes
He
he's
doesn't have
good.
the right level of confidence.
It's not even that he doesn't have the right level of confidence, because he is as confident as they come.
Okay.
But he doesn't know how good he is yet, because he's still figuring it out, right? Like, he's still figuring out, oh man, I got this smaller guy on me. I don't need to speed up and go faster with him. I need to slow down and just get him to the spot I want to get to. Now I can just raise up over and make the game simple, more easy for myself. And so when I say Kaminga doesn't, like, he has the confidence, but he doesn't know how good he is, it's just because he hasn't even really tapped into yet all of the things that he's capable of tapping into, that for someone who's been in this for 12 years, I see, oh, he's going to get to this and he'll figure that out. The game will slow down for him in this area and he'll do that. And absolutely special.
As Ramona Shelburne from ESPN has been on record stating that everyone asked the Warriors for Jonathan Kaminga, they essentially said, we're not trading him. He's untouchable. And the Warriors made the right decision. I have to admit myself, I did not see the emergence of Kaminga in the middle of the year. He's been given a better opportunity, and with that opportunity, he's maximized it so much so that he is legitimately being a massive piece and a key to the success of why the Warriors have been able to turn this year around. The development of a player who can just emerge as a 20-point scorer is something that basically everybody would love to have, especially someone as young as Kaminga. And when you look at his growth, you look at his potential, the sky is the limit at this point, especially when you look at a team that has all of the pieces that can aid him in that process as well. The defensive side of the floor, where you get to play alongside players like Wiggins and Draymond, and offensively being able to feast and maximize the opportunities that are given to you because of the amount of attention that someone like Steph Curry and Draymond with their synergy will continue to provide you as well. And also shout out to my man B-Pods as well. It's not just Kaminga. Even the young guard has been flourishing and growing as a ball handler, decision maker, and he's also aided this team in what they can accomplish moving forward within this finite amount of time as well. As Brandon and Kaminga both have the highest plus minus for the Warriors so far this season. When it comes to B-Pods within these last 13 games, when the Warriors have really been able to turn around, his minutes has increased, his roles and responsibility has gone up as well, and the production certainly shows, averaging nearly 12 points, 5.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, and shooting splits of 48, 37, and 61 from the free throw line, but you're going to get that up as time continues to progress. But nevertheless, this type of production in the middle of the season and improvement from young players is something that the Warriors desperately needed. We were talking about these young players being trade pieces. Now they've been the key to success for the Warriors. The schedule has been fairly easy and weak throughout these 13 games, to be fair. However, I would not be doing my due diligence and not doing my job if I did not highlight some of the undeniable improvement that I've seen out in Golden State. They made the right decision. They decided to stay packed, keep the pieces that they have. They also made the tough decision to move Klay Thompson to the bench, as well as continue to play around with Andrew Wiggins' minutes. And while doing so, presented opportunities for some of the young players. And these young players, bro, they're maximizing it. They're taking advantage of it, and they're proving why they should be receiving 30-plus minutes, why they should be receiving more on-ball reps, and why someone like Jonathan Kaminga was selected in the lottery when he was drafted. It has been great to watch him flourish over the past couple of games, and I hope post-All-Star break, he continues to build in that path. But hey, that's just my thoughts on what I see. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that the Golden State Warriors can really turn this season around and present to be a legit threat in the Western Conference, or at least make the postseason appearance that everybody wants to see from the Warriors? Also, if you enjoy these type of videos, make sure you go check out my last one where I talked about the Los Angeles Lakers and the potential offseason that they're about to have, because it definitely is going to be a big one.